What's going on, y'all? Podcast episode 121, I believe. Hope everyone's having a good day so far. It's early, man. 6 in the morning. In the sauna, trying to hit the gym, get it done, get it out the way. Man, we got pounded with snow this past weekend. Probably the most snow we've had in years, man. Years. So that's been kind of been the topic of our city recently. But we just take what we get and just maneuver, Just keep it moving. Yeah, man. It's January 28th, Wednesday. I got a new song dropping this Friday, and I'm pretty hyped about it. It's just another banger that I've been just kind of keeping locked in my storage for a little bit, but yeah, we're getting close to finishing this album up. So I got this song dropping Friday, and then I got another song dropping the day before Valentine's. So I'm just keep it flowing, keep it moving, just continuing to drop until we get this album out. And then we'll kind of go back to the drawing board and figure out where we're going from there. So definitely hyped about the new album, though. It's definitely one that I've put a lot of time and effort into, and I'm proud of the work that we put in. So shout out my boy E-Mac made it. That's my music update for the week. I've been just kind of paying attention to what's going on in like the industry recently, just to kind of gain some inspiration and just figure out like where I'm headed musically. And I recently came across La Russell, and I've definitely listened to his music before in the past, but I've just been following him on Instagram and just realizing like the content that he's posting is really just kind of helping other artists and teaching more lesser known artists kind of how to maneuver the industry. And it was cool, man, because he posted a picture of his schedule for the month and just kind of showed all these different moves that he's been making and all the moves that he has on the schedule for the month. And that just really inspired me because, I feel like that's kind of what I've been on for years, is just kind of keeping a strict schedule and making sure that there's at least something every day that I'm doing to move it forward, And you got to be constantly thinking about that. That constant thought of like, how can I take what I got now and just move it a little bit forward? Just push that boulder up just a little bit more. I just really have been thinking about that a lot recently. So, just doing one thing a day, man. Until you can really get that momentum up to do multiple things a day. But you gotta, no matter what, no matter if you're sick, don't feel like it, if it snows, whatever, you gotta do something every single day that's gonna move you forward, Because if not, you're just gonna stay in that same space. And for me personally, that same space is not acceptable. I gotta keep it moving. Gotta keep it moving. So that's been really kind of on my mind. Shout out to Russell. Thank you so much for kind of showing us the ropes and how to maneuver the industry. What's good? Sorry about that. Had to, there was a guy coming in the sauna. I just didn't want to be rude and stay on the phone. Yeah, man. Go back to my message before. Just that we got to keep it moving, man. No matter what. No matter what's thrown at us, no matter what the circumstances are, You just got to keep it moving. And sometimes that movement isn't always going to be, isn't going to look the same every day, you know? There's going to be days where, you know, you barely move, but you move it just a tad bit. There's going to be days where you move it a ton, where your momentum's just up and high. And then, let's face it, man, like, there will be days where you don't move it at all. And I think it's important that when you face those days of no movement, you know, you take a deep breath, you relax, let it pass through you, and then get back on your grind. Do whatever you can that next day to just move it a little bit. So, yeah, I'm really am speaking from experience. You know, it's definitely similar to anything in life. You know, putting together an album or hitting the gym or whatever you want to do, man. You know, I learned a good, valuable lesson, especially while I was shoveling our driveway. You know, we got over a foot of snow this past weekend, and you know, I had to shovel the driveway, and it sucked, dude. You know, I have a manual shovel. It's not a snow blower. It's not a snow thrower. You know, it's not a flamethrower. What, you know, whatever people are using to, you know, do their driveways now. But, you know, it had to get done, and just had to, you know, little by little, section by section, just got to get it done, you know. And we did, man. And it sucked. My back hurt. I was cold. My face was froze. But we got it finished, little by little, movement by movement. And, you know, I think that's life. I think that's life. And there's so many examples out there similar to shoveling a driveway. But I kind of feel like that one just hit home. So, we just do what we can, man, you know? Not be too damn hard on ourselves that it stops our growth, it stops our movement, it makes us feel guilty. But just allowing ourselves enough grace and understanding that every little bit of movement towards our goal helps, you know? So, you know, I don't want to sound like Dumbledore or the all-wise knowing guy, but I just felt like that was kind of on my mind, and just wanted to get it out there, out to the universe. And you know, even if nobody sees this, at least I can go back on and just be, you know, remind myself that it takes movement, it takes action to get what you want in life, or to get what you need in life too, you know. I guess another goofy example, I had a hair follicle. This is kind of personal and probably TMI. I had a hair follicle that got infected, and you know, it hurt like hell. It was right by my belt line, so every movement, you know, if my pants were too tight or whatever, it hurt bad. And to the point where I just felt like I couldn't even move. And, you know, I felt like it was either suffer at the hands of this goofy little injury, or go seek help and take the action to go get it checked out and get some antibiotics. And, you know, I chose the latter. I wanted to get it done. I didn't want to keep dealing with it. So I had to take the movement, take the action, and go get help, you know, to heal this injury. And that's anything too, man. Like sometimes you're not going to be the one that ends or finalizes everything. Sometimes you got to take the action to get the help that you need to get the end result. You know, whatever it means to you, or however whatever it is that helps you get that end result, you're not going to complain if you didn't finalize everything on your own. As long as your goal is finalized, that's all that matters. Sometimes people are there to help you along the way, but you got to take the action to get the help. I go back to my music. It's the same thing with making music. People think that, oh, you make music because your name is on it. You did everything. That's just not the case at all. I had help along the way. Whether it be a producer that made the beat, an engineer, shout out my boy EMAC. Whatever it is, man, I had help along the way. But I had to take the action for the help to even recognize there's a goal on the line. I had to take the action for the people in my life to recognize, okay, I see what he's doing. I'm going to help him get to where he's going. And then sometimes you got to pay for that help too, It's not always free. But that's okay, man, because it's an investment in yourself. And the best thing you can invest in life is yourself. Your mind, your goals, whatever. Invest in you. So, yeah, man. That's just kind of been on my mind. It's probably a longer episode, but it's all good. I recently learned, my sister sent me a screenshot, but there's a guy in my hometown that, he's a little strange, man, let's put it that way. He's a strange guy. I believe is homeless, but there's a concert venue down where we live, and we just sort of made friends with this guy, and over the years, we'll say hi to him, taking a few pictures. He's actually been in a cover art of mine before, also a music video, I'm pretty sure, but he calls himself Batman. But yeah, man, he recently, I guess his granddaughter posted that he's missing, and for a homeless guy here in our hometown's not the safest place. It's safe, but it's not the safest place. There's a lot of drugs. There's a lot of crime and stuff that just goes unreported. So, I just want to just say a prayer for him, send out good vibes. He's a strange guy, but it doesn't matter, man. If somebody's missing and their family's worried about him, I just pray that the universe sends blessings and sends peace, to his family. And I hope to see him again in the summertime when the concerts go back on. I hope to see him out there. So I'll end it at that. I hope everyone has a good rest of your week, man. We're almost into February. We're almost into month 2, man. Who would have thought? So much love. Check out my song dropping this Friday. And we'll talk soon. So keep it moving, baby. Let's get it. Peace.